Hi, I'm Taryn, and welcome to Most Fashionable Crime in 10, which is a quick video that I do recapping essentially or talking about other things that I talked about in my podcast, Most Fashionable Crime. So in this episode, we are talking about when Kim Kardashian West was robbed during Paris Fashion Week in 2016. So to give you a little bit of a background about Fashion Week, it's when the Big Four, which is New York City, Milan, London, and Paris, hold fashion weeks, and they are semi-annual. The fall show debuts and shows off the spring fashion, while the spring shows off fall fashion. Kim Kardashian is obviously a woman that is famous for being famous, and she has turned herself into a businesswoman. And because she and Kanye were on the cover of US Vogue, and I'm sure they were on front row before this, but being on the cover of US Vogue at the request of Anna Wintour, you are going to be invited to a lot of fashion shows. So that is why she was at Paris Fashion Week during this time. So I believe it was October 3rd when she was actually robbed. She was in her hotel. She was at this very exclusive, elite, expensive hotel. That's not your average hotel. You can only book there by using an access code, and they choose from a handful of the most elite celebrities and wealthy people in the world to actually be able to book there. You have to stay a minimum of 1 week. I talked a lot about this in my podcast, so if you want to hear more about all the little details, be sure to check that out. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the robbery and a lot of the conspiracy theories that came out of this robbery and why I think these conspiracy theories came about. So Kim was robbed basically of $11 million worth of jewels, accessories, etc. from the hotel, and then she returned to New York City that same day after giving a statement to police. Credibility definitely plays a factor in this. Kim Kardashian and her family are known for their hijinks because a lot of their money and their fame is fueled by attention and needing attention, grasping attention, and just staying in the press because they don't have talent, and they admit that, so they have to be constantly in the news for doing something. A lot of why people doubted whether or not she was robbed is because of this credibility, and I personally think she was actually robbed because I think it would be bottom of the barrel to make this up. The Kardashian Jenner family is helmed by Kris Jenner, and she is the one that actually got most of her children into the fold, into fame and into celebrity and into wealth. She is the one that orchestrated how they came about and have stayed in the media for almost 20 years at this point. So all throughout Paris Fashion Week, Kim Kardashian was on Instagram and Snapchat showing off her jewels, the $4.5 million ring that Kanye had just gifted her in August, and just kind of showing off and flaunting her jewelry and, things that just her possessions, which isn't uncommon for even regular people. A lot of people show off what they have, what they possess, whether it's large, small, whatever is luxurious to them, whatever is of significant value to them, they typically show it off on social media as well. So I don't really think this is like you shouldn't have been showing this off type of thing. Typically someone of this type of celebrity would have top-notch security, but at the time, her security guard, the family only traveled with one security guard at the time, one bodyguard at the time. And so because Kim decided to stay in that night, the bodyguard went out to the club with Kendall and Courtney. However, you would think that this nice hotel would have just top-notch security, but they didn't. There was really just a receptionist and a night man. So some of the conspiracy theories that came about were insurance fraud, which I don't necessarily believe because I think Kanye was in debt at the time and somehow Kim helped him get out of it. But at the time, like $11 million is really chump change to these people. It's not chump change to me, but to these people, it's really light work. And especially since I think presently Kim is estimated to be worth $1 billion. So she obviously started that trajectory at some point. Following the robbery, Kim took a step back from social media. I think she came back to social media on like January 3rd or January 6th. And she posted on Instagram. However, she was seen on October 26th. So the robbery happened on October 3rd at like 2-3 a.m. So basically after the robbery, Kim kind of changed her style. She was seen about 2 weeks after the incident for like 30 minutes having dinner with friends, and she was noted as looking very sad and somber. Then around October 26th, she was seen with her friend Jonathan Chabon, or known as like the food god or something, getting ice cream, and she was wearing slides, an oversized white hoodie, and it looked like some cut off jeans, and barefaced, Her hair was still done, a middle part with a long weave, and just looking very sad with her ice cream cone, just looking very sad. And then I think the day after, she was seen at Kanye's concert, but still no makeup, just very kind of down. And I get, if you go through this traumatic experience, you definitely want to get out of the house at some point. But I think some people thought she was laying low to kind of plot her next move, and knowing who she is and who her family is, especially her mom, that very well could have been the case. And I would think, being as wealthy as she is, if she wanted to just stay low key, she could have hired the ice cream shop to come to her house. She could have made sure that she was able to go privately. She could have, you know, booked that whole ice cream shop just for herself. But I honestly feel like because she was photographed so heavy at this moment, it could have been a spur of the moment thing. But I've noticed, like, just knowing about celebrities and pop culture, they can make the world flip at their disposal, to be honest. So I think if she wanted to get this ice cream in private and stay low key, if she wanted someone to just bring it out to her, she could have done that. I think she definitely probably wanted to get out the house. But going and being among all these photographers, you know, looking this way, dressed this way, I think that I agree with people when they say that it was strategic. I think it was a way to plan their next move, because up until this point, people had no real reason to ever feel bad for Kim Kardashian, seeing as she was famous for being famous and she created all this wealth just off of doing nothing, essentially. Like, I'm sure they did something, but in the eyes of people that, you know, lead typical day-to-day 9-to-5 jobs, like, they kind of see her as. So to me, it's interesting that the makeup was not done, but the hair was obviously done, because her hair is not that long. So clearly someone was keeping this hair, these extensions kept up. So, but it's interesting the look she was going for. And then when she posted to Instagram on January 6th, she was wearing like some nude, high-heeled, lace-up booties, some white biker shorts, an oversized white t-shirt, and she was just pictured with her husband and her 2 kids that she had at that time. This might have been a photo op, especially the paparazzi pictures. I think it was a way to kind of shut down the rumors of this really didn't happen, because she was looking so sad and somber, and I don't believe she's that great of an actress. So I think it was a way to, okay, like, show your face to show them that you're really going through something, to show that, you know, this really happened to you. And then when it comes to her security, I know eventually they did let go of the bodyguard that they had at the time, Pascal Duvier, but it really wasn't his fault per se. But I think they did up it, and I think they did really increase the strength of their security, because, for instance, I always think about Beyonce, because everybody knows Julius, her bodyguard. However, Beyonce is probably the most famous person in the world, and she's adored and admired by so many people. So while we recognize Julius, she definitely has other bodyguards, and I'm probably 100% sure that she has hidden in plain sight bodyguards for when she's out in public and whenever she goes places. I can honestly see her having that, because she is that big of a celebrity. So I think they may have, you know, boosted their security. They definitely boosted their security after this point, and I would definitely think they would probably, you know, heighten it to maybe that level of Beyonce, just because that's a very traumatic experience to go through, and you don't want to go through it again. So all in all, to kind of sum this up, I don't think Kim was lying about being robbed. I do think it's a very traumatic experience, and I think this kind of taught her to be more private about her life, or if she does want to share, don't post your location until after you leave, and just boost up your security. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to check out the podcast. I will link it in the description. Make sure to like this video and also subscribe to the channel for more videos, and to come back for more next Monday. And make sure to follow us on all the social media that I will tag below. Thank you again for watching this video. Bye-bye.